The Informa Media Group has established that Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja has forthwith gagged County Executive Committee members, chief officers and sectoral directors from speaking to the media without his express authorization. Through an internal memo in our possession reference NCC/CS/PAA/1147 dated December 19, 2023, Sakaja directed all officers under the executive wing of his administration to cease honoring media interviews without his permission. According to insiders within the governor's office, Sakaja is said to have quote-unquote increasingly grown uncomfortable with the revelations about his administration and thus he is feeling exposed, end of quote. With only slightly over a year in office, the nascent Sakaja's tenure has been marred by mega financial scams ranging from latest revelations of shadowy figures controlling the Nairobi revenue collection systems to questionable expenditures queried by Director of Criminal Investigations, Control of Budget Margaret Nyakango and the Auditor General Nancy Gathungu's office. The memo written by Acting Nairobi County Secretary Patrick Analo reads in part, quote-unquote, "This is to direct that all officers invited for media interviews to seek authorization from His Excellency the Governor before honoring the media interviews. We take cognizance of the fact that some officers are usually invited in their individual professional capacities, and this is to request that while seeking the said authorization, you state that you have been individually invited to the interview due to your professional expertise," end of quote. Analo has been serving in an acting capacity since July this year, and thus his continued mandate to serve in similar capacity will be null and void after lapsing of 6 months, which ends in mid-January next year. Analo replaced his predecessor Jairus Musumba. According to the memo, the aforementioned officers are supposed to seek authorization even when going for media interviews in their professional capacities and not for their services at the county. Speaking to the Informa Media Group on phone, Analo defended the move, saying it is not aimed at gagging the officers from addressing the public through the media. Analo claimed, quote-unquote, "The county has over 15,000 staff and we have found it better to do this and avoid contradictions. Seeking clearance from the governor simply means they are informing him about the issue to be addressed," end of quote. According to Analo, some staff are still new and are learning some stuffs about the county. The CS added that they are also targeting the vernacular media houses, which is said are causing confusion. He added, quote-unquote, "If the process is not streamlined, it will cause confusion. You may find a CEC saying something different from the chief officer and the directors," end of quote. This raises questions on the various revelations of what has been revealed during the ongoing investigations by the County Assembly Ad Hoc Committee Revenue Collection. In August this year, Sakaja sacked former Nairobi County Attorney Lydia Kwamboka through Acting County Secretary Patrick Analo barely 2 months after Nyakango raised queries over 1.4 billion shilling legal fees payments flagged by the Office of the COB. Further, DCI Mohammed Amin's office is probing money laundering and fraud at the Nairobi County government and 9 other private companies. The DCI, Auditor General and Controller of Budget separately cited cases of lack of financial prudence at City Hall. In June this year, Nyakango declined to approve 1.5 billion shilling expenditure requisitions they made to pay legal fees and development expenditure made without providing proper supportive documents. Further, City Hall honchos made an additional clearance request of 379 million shillings, categorized as development expenditure of building and construction supplies, claimed to be air supply. A correspondence by the COB addressed to Sakaja through the Finance and Economic Planning County Executive Committee member Charles Kerich reads in part, quote-unquote, "The schedule of 19 farms to be paid does not include the invoices dates. Therefore, it is difficult to ascertain whether they are pending bills or related to works done and invoiced in the current financial year. Please, therefore, revise the schedule to include the date of the invoices and attached copies of the payment vouchers for the 19 farms," end of quote. Through a letter dated June 27, 2023, reference COB/NBI/001/17 and number 11, Nyakango notes that the Nairobi County government did not provide the pending bills payment plan that would enable the matching matching of individual payees to the requisitions. The COB reads in part, quote-unquote, "Further, it is difficult to match the proposed payments without the pending bills report earlier presented to this office," end of quote. Sakaja's administration made the twin requisitions via letters referenced as reference NRB/FIN/1/2824/2023 dated June 19, 2023, amounting to over 562 million shillings, and reference NRB/FIN/1/2825/2023 dated June 19, 2023, amounting to over 509 million shillings. Nyakango instructed County Treasury to provide the basis for the legal fees, status of each court case, including copies of judgment where applicable. Also, the COB's office demanded a clear breakdown detailing the criteria used in the selection of the said payments, the recommended first in, first out method used in identifying the bills, and information on whether the proposed payment is a partial payment or a final payment to the legal firms. She said she wrote a memo dated August 2nd, 2023 to the Chief Officer of the Finance Department asking for clarification on payment criteria. A letter Kwamboka tabled before the committee reads in part, quote-unquote, "Would like to understand the criteria used by your office in determining matters to be paid, despite the sector having a budget to settle the small matters, and what happened to the allocated budget," end of quote.